All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar series, What's New at American Ancestors. I'm Kathleen McKenzie, Education and Programming Manager here at American Ancestors, and I'll be moderating today's program. American Ancestors is a nonprofit organization supported by our members and donors. We provide resources and expertise in nearly all aspects of family history, and we're pleased to offer such programming for our members and friends around the world. This program today is brought to you by the Brew Family Learning Center. Our presenter today is Vice President for Digital Strategies and Communications, Claire Vail. Claire has 20 years of experience as a digital marketing and content strategist for high-profile institutions in higher education, publishing, and media. Before joining American Ancestors, she was Director of Web Communications at Tufts University, where she oversaw the implementation of a large-scale website redesign. Claire has a master's degree in journalism from Northeastern University and a second master's in English literature from the University of Delaware, with a concentration in 18th century British and American studies. Joining us today will also be Scott Colby. He'll be coming around for the Q&A. And he joined the American Ancestors staff in July 2021. He oversees the database search and tree technology for AmericanAncestors.org. Scott has also worked in various IT, programming, and database roles at the Institute of Contemporary Art and the Museum of Science. Scott holds a degree in computer science from Wentworth Institute of Technology. So we're very lucky to have Scott with us today for the Q&A. So today in particular, if you have any questions about our databases, feel free to pop those into the Q&A and we will get to those at the end of today's program. So American Ancestors is a national center for family history, heritage, and culture, and we're actively engaged in the creation of new searchable databases, digitized collections, scholarship, educational programming, and more. We are always working on new projects that share the stories of families and individuals from across the country and around the world. Today, Claire is going to highlight some of these latest happenings here at American Ancestors, and then we'll have time for any questions at the end. At any point during the presentation, please go ahead and type your questions into the Q&A panel found at the bottom of your screen. There is no handout for this presentation, but we are recording this event. And starting later today, you can easily go back and review any of the content from the presentation on our website. So if you missed something during the live session, don't worry, you can always go back and review the presentation later. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to welcome on Claire. And we'll get started with today's program. Welcome, Claire.
Thank you, Kathleen. It is a pleasure to be here with you today. Welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's almost the weekend. So thank you for joining us. This is What's New at American Ancestors, and I'm going to talk about exactly that. So I'll talk about our latest events, our membership offers, databases, other happenings. So whether you are currently a member or you're not yet a member, there is more than ever to see and do at American Ancestors. So I'll start a little bit by I'll start by talking a little bit about who we are. We are the world's oldest and largest genealogical society. We are a nonprofit. It's a small industry, so there's Ancestry, there's MyHeritage, there's Find My Past, there's Family Search. We are uniquely positioned in that we are a nonprofit with a great many resources for you. We're agnostic about our genealogy and our education, meaning that we're going to direct you to the best resource for you. We're not motivated by commercial goals necessarily. So we are here to serve you, and our mission is really to make sure that you have what you need to discover your family history. We were founded in 1845. This means that we have been steadily publishing in the family history field for over 178 years. And much of that material that we've been publishing has been turned into databases which are searchable on our website. So we've been continuously in operation since that period, and many people across the world regard us as the gold standard for family history. So a little bit about our name. A lot of you who've been with us for many years know us as New England Historic Genealogical Society. That's how we were founded. And that is still our official name, but our global brand, because we are growing all the time, is American Ancestors. And you'll be seeing more of that name on our website and in our published materials. And as we shift really away from the name New England Historic Genealogical Society. And the reason for that is that when people see the words New England, they assume that our resources are confined to just that region. And we now have regions for resources for all over the country and really all over the globe. Um, and I'll talk a little bit more about our family heritage experience in-person exhibit and center that will be opening at the end of this year. So let me start by taking you through our website to show you some of our latest offerings. So I'd like to start by pointing out that there's going to be a membership sale coming up in April. So we're going to be offering 20% off new memberships, and that campaign will run from April 1st to April 30th. And again, that'll be starting in the first week of April. You'll want to watch your email. So if you're subscribed to getting emails from us, that will pop up in your email, and there will be a code that you have to come to the website and enter to take advantage of that offer. If you're not currently subscribed to any of our emails, the easiest way to do that is to scroll down to the bottom of the site where we have our social media buttons. And sorry, let me just let Kathleen catch up with that. And you can sign up over on the right-hand side, sign up to receive our newsletter. So I want to talk a little bit about our building. We frequently get the question for um, how how soon people can come back into the building. We are currently closed for construction through the entire first really up until the summer of this year and the early fall. So we are targeting an opening for our building sometime in October. We don't know what that precise date will be. Can't promise it will actually be October, but that's what we are hoping currently. So if you drive by our location on Newbury Street, you're going to see the entire building under construction, very much under construction. Uh, you may know that we are working on opening a public-centered family history, and that will be called the Family Heritage Experience, and that's what all the construction is all about. We are the only family history organization other than Family Search to have a public space and research library that anyone can come in and use. Uh, this is going to be different than anything that anyone has presently, different than the Family Search Library in Salt Lake, if you've been there. Um, but with some similarities, there'll be public exhibits that will help people learn more about their family history and understand more about what resources there are available to go further in your search. Uh, this this building is going to have the entire first floor dedicated to these exhibits. There'll be multiple interactive stations where you can learn more about family history resources, more about DNA. There's going to be more space for public education on our second floor. If you are used to coming into the building to do your own self-directed research, you will still be able to do that and to go up to our upper floors and use computers and use the library. If you are brand new to family history, or if you would like to get some of your family members thinking about family history, this will be a great place to bring friends and families uh, um, and kind of catalyze their dormant interest in genealogy. So our other floors are still going to house collections, the library, our staff will be present in the building, and we'll still be doing everything and having everyone present in the building and providing all the services we provide now. So right now, last year, all the while our we've been under construction, and all the while our building has been physically closed to visitors and most of our staff. Our entire staff is still working normal hours, but we're doing this from home so that we can continue to offer you all the online services that we always have. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our 10 Million Names project. You may have been hearing about this in the news. If you're local to the Boston area, we have a story about 10 million names on boston.com that just appeared today. So that's on the homepage of boston.com. But I want to talk about what 10 Million Names is. So 10 Million Names is a project that was launched the middle of last year in August. It's a project dedicated to finding the names of the 10 million men, women, and children that were enslaved in this country between the 1500s and 1865. There's an estimated 44 million people that are descended from these 10 million. Um, the project launched at the National Convention for Black Journalists in Birmingham, Alabama, last August. And since that time, we have been widely covered in the media. We've had frequent appearances on Good Morning America. Just this past month, we appeared on ABC's Prime Time with Lindsay Davis, and we've been in multiple other media outlets. So you may have seen some of this coverage. And this coverage is great for this project because there is a direct public call to action, and that is to encourage people to come to this website here to 10millionnames.org and to upload anything they know about their family history, if it involves enslaved people or if their ancestors were enslavers of other people. So we're using that information to help inform this project. So if you come to the homepage of 10 Million Names, you'll see that there's 3 calls to action here. You can discover more about your own family history. You can help 10 Million Names do research, and that involves uploading oral histories, records that you may have, family trees. There's many different ways that you can participate. So here you can fill out a questionnaire, you can upload a GEDCOM, you can add notes, you can share an audio file. Basically, you can tell us if you have names of enslaved people, and that will help inform our research and let us go further in this project. So since we've received that essential media coverage, we have seen a huge uptick in the number of people coming to this forum and filling it out and giving us this original and wonderful information. Um, so if you haven't watched the coverage and you go to the homepage of American Ancestors, you'll see that we've posted some of the coverage that we've received, and you'll see that there was, if you scroll down just a little bit there, you'll see that uh, There it is there. Our chief 10 million names, chief historian, Dr. Kendra Field, and Dr. Vincent Brown of our Scholars Council were both featured talking about this is a fascinating story about the public works interviews that were done with enslaved people back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. ABC played audio clips from these accounts, and Kendra Field and Vincent Brown talk about the historical context for those interviews. So it's about a 10-minute segment and really worth watching. Very, very interesting. So moving on, I'm going to talk about our books program. So we're the only family history organization that has its own publishing imprint. So we typically publish anywhere from 8 to 12 titles a year. Most of these are scholarly works that contribute to the field of genealogy. If you go and search our bookstore, you will find a list of our latest releases, our top sellers, and any works focusing on a particular topic like the Great Migration, Mayflower, DNA, and other resources here. So, our latest release is the first volume in what will be the third series of the Great Migration Study Project. So this is by author Ian Watson. It's an 824-page book, so large hardcover book that contains brand new research about the details of 129 Great Migration immigrants. So this is the surnames from uh, A to BE. And these folks came to New England between 1636 and 1638. They appear in the Great Migration Directory. So the new details come from sketches, and they include, uh, well, these are sketches that include details on origin, previous residences these people had, their migrations, their first residence, the removes, the return trips, occupations, church membership, et cetera, education. So if the Great Migration of Interest is of interest to you, you may want to consider purchasing this book. There's an expanded comments section, and there's an appendix with 8 more sketches that fall into the range of the present volume. So, some of the folks that are profiled in this book include Henry Adams, John Adams, Francis Alcock, George Aldrich, John Abbey, and they're listed there. So, moving back to the homepage for a second, I'd like to highlight some of our popular material on this page. So we have been running a series called Free Downloads, and I just want to remind people that this is there because we are working on expanding this. So right under that top search bar, you'll see these free downloads, free research guides. So these are the Getting Started series. It's good for both people who are brand new to genealogy, but it's also a great reminder for people who are far along in their family history journey. So you can see the different topics here: World War II records, Quaker records, African American genealogy. So what you'll do is you can download any of these. It'll take you to a form, and you just enter in your email address. And then once you do that, your first name, your last name, you can fill out some of this information. A PDF will be downloaded to your desktop. And the information is really invaluable for that topic as a primer for getting started in researching that subject. So you'll see a lot of links to various resources around the web, not just our resources. But it's a great way to make sure that you've covered all your bases and have this guide to accompany you on your research. And it's free, so why not? I want to talk about another service we provide that you should definitely take advantage of, and that is our live chat service. So we offer 15 to 20-minute uh, uh, amounts of time with a genealogist for no cost at all. You don't have to be a member, and you can ask any question you like about family history. Uh, this is staffed uh, throughout the week, so it's Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern Time. And we try to limit sessions to 15 minutes, but if there's no one else in line, sometimes the genealogist will spend a little more time with you. So the kind of questions you can ask really vary, but you can ask, for example, I'm researching my Civil War ancestors from Massachusetts. What record sources and archives should I be looking at? So general questions about theme and what type of sources should you go to find out more about that particular subject matter. You can ask questions about local history. You can ask about how to interpret terms or phrases in a given record. And, just general information they will help direct you to find. Uh, I'm going to highlight another upcoming event that we have, and that is our Heraldry Conference. So on September 24th through 28th, here in Boston, we're going to be hosting a conference about heraldry and genealogy. So the title is it's the International Congress of Genealogical and Heraldic Sciences. This is the 36th Congress, and it's the first time that the Congress has been in the United States. It's typically held in Europe. So again, it's September 24th through 28th. You don't have to be interested in heraldry. If you're interested in genealogy, there'll be a lot here that to command your attention. So it is about the overlap between heraldry and genealogy. So the theme of this particular conference is journeys that various ethnic groups have made across Europe. Including massive, overseas migration to the Americas, like the Great Migration, formation of our cities and suburbs, and other, similar topics. So, uh, there will be papers that are delivered at this Congress. There's gonna be a lot of, meetings and sessions to discussion sessions where you can talk with other heraldrists and genealogists, and there'll be a keynote speaker and dinners, but we certainly encourage you to attend. It'll be a very interesting mix of people. So just a little bit before I turn this back to Kathleen to talk about some feature events. Uh, we have launched a youth curriculum, and I've spoken about this before, but I want to remind folks that this is available. So we have now a quite robust family history curriculum that anybody can use. It's not restricted to educators. It's free. And anyone who is a teacher, librarian, general public, homeschooler, can download this curriculum and then sign up for training sessions with an experienced um, um, social studies teacher who is our youth curriculum coordinator, and he will provide advice for how to implement this in the classroom. So we are launching a national family history program. We have done teacher trainings in Maine, and that started last summer. We were thrilled to recently be in the US Virgin Islands offering training programs. And you should certainly let any educators in your life know about this program. It's fantastic. This is not just a few pages of material. This is a curriculum that was developed with the national curriculum standardized curriculum that teachers are obligated to teach in public schools. It was developed with that in mind. So it really focuses on helping kids from anywhere from 4th through 8th grade understand history, the wider, lens of history or wider, American history through the lens of their own personal family history. And the teachers who have implemented this have had great success in, getting kids interested in, their own ancestry and seeing how their own ancestors were part of history. So just to talk a little bit about where to find events and then to turn this back over to Kathleen to talk about specific events that are coming up. If you go to the American Ancestors page and you look at the top of the page there, you'll see events. We have all our events in the calendar under upcoming events, and then everything that we offer, nearly everything that we offer, we archive and put into our video library. So if you miss an event that you really wanted to see, chances are it's going to be archived and available to you in our video library. So you can go here and search by keyword. We have over 100 free webinars that have been archived in this video library. You can search by the type over in that right-hand drop-down menu, and you can see the titles are here and the descriptions, and you can just click Watch Now. If you do have to be signed up as at least a guest member. So if you hit a paywall here, it's free, but you do have to sign up and see, and make sure that you're at least a guest member to see this. So over in events, you'll see the calendar of upcoming events, and that's how you can stay on top of everything that is coming up at least 4 to 6 months out. So this will include our American Inspiration Author Event Series. It'll include our dinners, our seminars, our free webinars, our tours. So if you need to plan ahead for the coming year, you can come here and just look at the calendar and select a date, or you can look by the different types of author events and see what we have. And you can also toggle between free and paid events if that's helpful to you. And you can search by keyword as well. So that's how to stay on top of things. And now I will turn it back over to Kathleen to highlight a few interesting upcoming events that we have.
Great. Thank you so much, Claire. So let me go ahead and get my slides up here. Okay, let's see here. Just one moment. All right, so I did just want to highlight a few of our key upcoming events. So first, I wanted to highlight our Canadian Research Tour, which is going to take place in May this year from May 5th to 12th. This is our first time going to Ottawa for this tour. We'll be spending time at the Library and Archives Canada there, and we will also spend time at the Military History Research Centre of Canada. This is going to be a wonderful tour. These research tours that we do are really great opportunities to take a deep dive into your research. We kind of all go to the repositories together. We have two genealogists with us on the trip, and they will offer one-on-one consultations while we're there in the repositories. There are two included with the tour. So you'll get to meet with the genealogist one-on-one twice and kind of talk about specific areas of your research. Ahead of the tour, we also do offer a pre-tour webinar where we'll talk through how to prepare for the tour, give more information about the repository, and how to organize your research. And we also offer a pre-tour consultation, which gives you a chance to meet over Zoom with a genealogist a few weeks ahead of the tour. And you'll be able to talk through your research plans, learn a bit more about the repositories, and generally just kind of get your research organized so that when you arrive in Ottawa or if you're thinking about another tour, whatever location it might be, when you get there, you can really kind of hit the ground running. We all stay as a group together at a nearby hotel and kind of make our way to the repositories together each day. And these tours are a lot of fun. We've seen a lot of friendships forged on these tours over the years. It's really great to kind of have the support of a group who's researching similar family history that you are. We find people kind of lean on each other a lot and get help with their research. And it's a really great kind of community building event. So I wanted to highlight this one. And then similarly, we will also be going to Belfast in June. So for this one, we'll be spending the week at the Public Records Office of Northern Ireland. There are many records there that have not been digitized and that are only available on site in Belfast. And again, as I mentioned for the Canadian tour, you receive consultations with our genealogists, both on the tour and one leading up to the tour to help you get organized. We offer that pre-tour presentation that kind of helps you get ready, learn more about the repositories and your research. And again, I think one of the best parts is just being with a group of like-minded people who are all kind of working on the same research as you. For this one, there are a lot of pubs nearby the hotel that people will go to socialize afterwards. And again, just a really fun experience. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of those. But if you're not quite ready to make a big trip with us, we certainly do have many events that are available online. So just a few coming up. We on March 28th, we'll have a lecture on gedmatch.com, how to take your DNA results to the next level. And that is going to be presented by GEDmatch power user Patty Huff Williams. Then on April 11th, we will have a webinar on planning a trip to your ancestral homeland. That's going to be presented by our genealogist, Rhonda R. McClure. That should be a great one. I definitely recommend checking that out as well. And then on Wednesdays in April, we will have a in-depth online seminar on Ohio family history research. There are going to be 4 sessions covering different topics related to Ohio, and we'll kind of do deep dives into each. So a great opportunity if you have Ohio ancestors and want to take a deeper dive. All right, so that covers some great upcoming events that we have. So now we will turn to your questions. Any questions that you have, go ahead and pop them into that Q&A panel. And as I mentioned, we are going to have Scott joining us as well for this Q&A. He manages all of our online databases, so any database questions that you have, you are certainly welcome to submit those as well. All right, so first off, I see we have a question here from someone wondering if the Heraldry Congress is going to be broadcast online. So I can answer this one. Unfortunately, it will not be broadcast online. You would have to make a trip out to Boston, but always a great opportunity to do so. Any other questions about that? Definitely feel free to email me and I can get you in touch with the person organizing the Congress. Um, okay, so then we have a question here. How does American Ancestors 1.4 billion names compare to Ancestry, Family Search, etc.? Claire, I don't know if you want to take this one or Scott, if you'd like to. Oh, Claire, I think you're muted.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes, I'd be happy to talk on this point. So, to be, rattle off some numbers here. Ancestry, I think, is at something like 24 billion records, and My Heritage, I believe, comes in next. And I'm not sure their current count, but last I checked, it was in the high teens, I think. And then Find My Past, and it depends on how you count their records, but I think that they say around 8 to 9 billion. And then actually, it's surprising, but Family Search is somewhere around 4 billion. So certainly being positioned where we are, we are a small genealogical nonprofit, and those are commercial companies, except for Family Search, which is the operation behind that is the Church of Latter-day Saints, and they certainly have a lot of people to throw at transcription and digitization. But we are those are the players in the business, if you will. Those are the major companies, and so we are small but mighty.
And I just want to add, this is one of my favorite tips. If I can just pull up the website once more. If you ever want to see what databases we have that are unique to AmericanAncestors.org, if you go to our search menu and then go to A to Z list of all databases, you can then up here where it says search by database name. If you type in AA unique, it's going to bring up all of the databases that you can only find on our website. And you can see there are a lot of them, a lot to sort through here, and you can further filter by date, location, things like that. So that's always one of my favorite tips. So it's AA unique that you type in there. All right, let's see what else we have coming in. So I see we did get a couple of questions. Apologies, I had a little typo on this slide here, the wrong event title. So this event, Researching American Revolutionary War Patriots, this did already happen. However, so that was an online seminar, and we will be making it available as an on-demand course that you can purchase after the fact. So that one I believe was 5 sessions, so five 90-minute sessions that you would be able to watch. So keep an eye on the website. That will be made available as an on-demand course. So you can definitely still take advantage of that. Okay, let's see here. Scott, we have a question in, how is the re-indexing of the register going? I think I saw 1 to 22 done so far.
I know that that is an ongoing project, and that 1 to 22 being done is the most recent information I have as well.
All right, great. Thank you. Um, then let's see here. Where and how do you access historic newspapers for Massachusetts on your website for years later than the 1700, sorry, just reading this, for years later than the 1700s to late 1800s?
Historic newspapers for Massachusetts. So, our newspaper, I'm assuming this would be part of our newspaper collections in external databases. Uh, so I don't think we have a specific database online for that. So if you go here, our newspaper collections are part of our external database offerings. So we call them external databases because we're partnered with the organizations that offer these databases. So if you are a member of most of these, I think are only accessible if you're a full member. But there are several newspaper specific databases here. So there's the newspaper archive, and I believe there's others. So yeah, 1607, wow, to 2023. But that's a great tool that you can use. And I think there might be a couple other newspaper databases here.
I
Uh,
think so. Let me see if I
yeah,
can do Control F. Nope.
yeah,
Yep.
US newspapers. So I think if you are, yeah, in early American newspapers. So you may be able to click on these and then filter by Massachusetts. And that way you can isolate just the ones in Massachusetts for your date range. Yeah, this is real treasure trove here. This is amazing. This is just fun to read. Even if you're not researching anything, it's just fun to look through it. This is an opportunity to talk about external databases and the huge value that they have to members. So we may not have 24 billion records to search, but we do deals all the time with various partners for these large database sets. And so if you are a paying member, you're getting the benefit of what really only a major university library typically offers, or a large public library. So, some of these databases have $20,000 licenses associated with them that are not something an individual can afford typically. So you can come to these databases and just search them. Some of it's academic information, some of it's like newspapers, some of it's actual genealogical records. Uh, it really runs the gamut here, and all kinds of subject areas like the Caribbean, um, um, yeah, medieval genealogy. There's some great collections of, broadsides from England dating all the way back to the 1600s. So a lot of fascinating stuff if you're researching a book, if you're a student, if you're just into historical context. There's great information here. It's not set up like our name search databases. There's all kinds of search filters on top of these because they're offered by different companies. So you're not necessarily going to get a first name, last name field. You are more likely to get a keyword field and other types of filters depending on how the information is indexed. But it's a goldmine of information.
Great, thank you. Um, then we had a question because I was showing the databases A to Z a moment ago, and someone was wondering what some of these symbols mean next to the databases. Scott, do you want to explain what some of these symbols are that you'd find there?
Sure. So I know that the star represents whether or not you've added that to your favorite databases. So adding that to a favorite will essentially save it, so it's a little bit easier to find later and fill in the star as Kathleen just showed. The icon to the left of that tells us whether this database has any images or not, or whether it's just transcripts. So the camera corresponds to a database that has images associated with the records, and the piece of paper with the folded corner indicates it's transcript text only. And then I believe the magnifying glass just opens the search form. Yep,
Great,
there you go.
thank you very much. Um, then another question here. Is our database open or closed? That is, could anyone add or change data, or are all of the changes and additions only made by American Ancestors staff? Scott, if you want to take that one as well.
Sure, yeah, changes and additions are only made by American Ancestor staff at the moment. Yep.
Excellent, thank you. Then let's see here. We did have a question about the research tours I mentioned. Is travel included in research tours, or do participants make their own way to the sites? So you do make your own way because we have people coming from all over. So you'll purchase your own flights or trains or whatever it may be. And if you live nearby to an area that we're going to, for example, we're also making a trip in August to the Midwest Genealogy Center in Independence, Missouri. I know we have a lot of locals around there who are planning on commuting in. We do have a commuter option available where you can stay on your own, not with the group in the hotel, and just pay for kind of the research benefits and things like that. Basically, everything else on the tour apart from the hotel. So hopefully that answers that. Um, let's see here. Just looking at some of these other questions coming in. So we did have a question about our seminar on American patriots in the Revolution. So it's a question if it would cover loyalists. So I don't believe that was covered in that course. However, I can follow up by email. I think it was primarily, it was focused on patriots, so I don't think loyalists were included under that umbrella. But I do have your contact information here, so I will double check on that and follow up by email. Let's see here. So then we have some other questions coming in that I think would be great actually to ask our live chat. So for example, we have a question here about who is the best person to contact to determine if ancestors came from Canada, New England, Virginia. That would be a great question to put in our live chat to the genealogists. They'd be happy to kind of parse that out with you, give some advice. So I definitely recommend using that chat service. And again, that is going to be found if you are on our search page. It should pop right up there, and you can ask that question. And again, this is totally free. You don't even have to be a member, so definitely recommend checking that out. Then we do have a question, who do I email for information on the Belfast trip? So you can email me. I am organizing that. So actually, I'll pop my direct email in the chat. So let me do that for you now.
How often do you see somebody who will do that? That's very brave.
So yes, you are more than welcome to email me. So it's just my first dot, my last name at nehgs.org, Kathleen.McKenzie at nehgs.org, and I'm happy to give more information about that. And I see you mentioned something about the hotel. We're going to be staying at the Europa Hotel, which is centrally located in Belfast, and we'll be traveling each day together to Prony. So looking forward to hearing from you about that. Um, so then a question, Claire, if you'd like to take this one, can you speak a bit about research for hire and what the costs would be for such research?
Oh my goodness. Well, why don't we go over to that page because if the rates have changed since I last looked, and they do sometimes, but we essentially we offer research for hire. You can hire us on an hourly basis, and we offer different types of packages. You do have to complete an expert assessment, so you'll have to fill out a form, but essentially what an expert, here's the specific pricing. Thank you very much. So, starts at $700 for members, and $840 for non-members. So you do get a significant discount if you are a member. If you're going to hire a researcher for any length of time, most certainly become a member first. This is definitely a deal. Uh, so you you go through an expert assessment process where you fill out a form, you provide as much information as you know about the project. The researchers will take a look at it and come back and give you an estimate on how many more hours it's going to take to complete. Now, you do pay for that expert assessment, but the benefit of that is that they're actually doing research. They're looking into your case in a preliminary way. They're doing that initial discovery so that they can predict how long a case this is going to be. So it's not as though you pay the money and you get nothing for that. You're going to get the benefit and the report on whatever they do when they do that initial foray into the research. So a lot of people engage with us and have very long-term projects over many, many years. So this is the reason we do this. It's very, very difficult for somebody to just say, I want to do research with you, and I only want it to take 3 hours. Um, it's very hard to predict, and that's why we do that expert assessment period.
Great. Thank you very much, Claire. And I'm just looking, I believe that wraps up all of the questions that we've received in case anyone submits one in the next few seconds here. I think we've gotten all of them. So big thank you to Claire and Scott for joining us for today's presentation and for the Q&A. Let me get my slides back up here. All right, so if you do think of a question later on, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We've mentioned the chat service for kind of more specific genealogical questions. I've shared my email with you in the chat, which amazed Claire, and you are welcome to reach out to me about the tours I mentioned and any of our other programming. I did see a couple more of you ask some questions about that Patriots seminar, and I'll follow up with all of you about that. You can also generally reach us at education@nehgs.org. And again, just want to really highlight that chat service. It is totally free and open to the public, and really recommend that. So thank you again for joining us, and you will have an opportunity to fill out a survey and give us your feedback on today's webinar. As we continue to expand our webinars and online offerings, any feedback is very helpful and appreciated. This free webinar was made possible by the generous support of our members and friends around the world. Please consider making a gift to American Ancestors to help keep these programs free and to create more. If you'd like to access more how-to resources or learn about upcoming online educational programs, please visit our online learning center at americanancestors.org/education. Thank you again, and I hope to see you at our online programs in the future, and goodbye for now.